Hello. Oh, I think you're muted, Miss Leslie.
Yeah, I am.
Hey.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It automatically does that where it mutes people upon entry.
Hey,
Hey, girl, how are you?
good. How
When
you
I
been?
Good. When I saw you pop up in my messenger thing, I was telling my husband, I was like, she had the cutest name on Zoom when we were doing coaching the last time. Yeah.
Yes,
How's it going?
good. It's been a very busy day today.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll make it quick, or you can, kind of chill once other people hop on if you want. But so how's the business going?
So I said I was gonna do like a one-on-one coaching with you because I definitely want to do that. So I can because I really need to sit back and like redo like a business plan type thing.
Yeah,
So I can go ahead and move forward with everything else.
I gotcha. No, I feel you. Like sometimes you just need that like one-on-one, like, okay, here's where I'm at. Here's what's going on. Like, what
Yes.
do I do now?
Yes. So I
Right.
definitely need to do that for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Just whenever you want to. Now you get a discount because you're a member. Whenever you go to set it up, if you go through the actual membership to set it up, it'll automatically give you the discount. Hi, Miss
Okay.
Angela and
Hello.
Kim. I knew everyone was coming today. I was like, woohoo. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. And I think you are muted, Miss Amy, if you want to say anything. How's the podcast coming, Angela? You guys, Angela's starting a podcast.
Makes me nervous. So it's going
excited.
pretty well. Every time I've like recorded a couple podcasts, and every time I kind of share them with like my husband and a couple of friends, they're like, I think that should be your second one. I think that should be your fourth one. I think that, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do for my first? So I think I have an idea now. So I'm going to do that this week and then get it recorded. So
Have you thought about telling your story?
So yes, that was one of the ones I recorded, but my husband and my best friend, who also has daughter with special needs, both think that I should get them in. I should hook them a little bit with something simple and concrete, and then like do a couple episodes and then tell them my story.
Agreed. So, I'm 31 episodes in and I still haven't told my story, which I realized the other day. So I'm getting ready to come out with an episode of my story, but I think with you, like, especially doing like a trailer, like a couple minute trailer at as your first quote unquote of just like, listen, here's who I am. Here's what you're going to get from this podcast, and then going ahead and putting out a couple episodes of like, here's what I can do for you. Then explaining who you are. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Hubby and best friend are smart.
Yeah. So that's my best friend. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
But at least I've got those done, but I've got to get this first one done. So
yeah, it's all good. It'll work out exactly as it's supposed to. And I know life's been hitting and, but like it literally will happen as it's supposed to. And like, you'll get what you need. It just, it's a process.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a learning curve, but I'm loving it though. It's great. Yeah.
Good. I'm so happy. All right. So anybody got any, hey, Miss Amy, I know that you had stuff you needed to do. Do you have any like questions or anything just in case you have to hop off?
It was the other way around. It was getting here that was going to be the challenge, but I made it.
Yay. Awesome.
I do have questions, but I don't have to have them answered right away. So,
I mean, honestly, if you want to go ahead and start, I think everyone's kind of ready.
Okay. Well, I had all day yesterday finally to devote to working on my business, and I kind of just hit a wall on a few things. We talked about in my one-on-one coaching about going a little more toward the virtual end. So I started thinking about what that would look like. So I create these marketing funnels for my school, and it still has my school name on there, but I printed one and used it for my virtual coaching thing. And I thought, okay, what if I just started with a closet coaching with a couple of friends and thinking through that whole process all the way from, because I've done some inbound marketing training where you start with how do you attract your customers? How do you, reach them? and all the way down to you convert them to clients and then retain. That reach and attract is the hard one for this. And
I have the answer.
good.
I think, yes. So what if you came on my podcast after you coached your friends, coach a couple friends, maybe you put it on like a YouTube channel or you put it out somewhere for some other people to watch to see what they can actually get from you, like what coaching with you would be like. And then I also have a friend that talks to moms. Her podcast is called the SOS Mom, and it's like simplify, organize, sustain, or something like that. And so then maybe I get you on her podcast too, where you can talk about what you do. But the more you can get out there and like promote what you do, but first we got to figure out what is it that you do. Right. And you've got to get a little bit of practice in. So by the time you go out and start marketing, you know, like you have it down. You've worked with a few people, you've answered some questions, you know, because it's hard. I feel you, right? Like when you're in that moment of like, who am I talking to? That is the hard, that's just as hard as naming your business. Those two are like the stopping points for a moment where you have to think like, okay, who is my avatar? What do they want? But then sometimes you don't know until you jump and people tell you what you're doing.
Yeah. And even if I just do one thing just with my friends and then I can change it a little from there. I've been working on a lot of like free download type sheets, things, content that people can have just to kind of be that between, oh, I've heard about you to client. So something that would be that in-between piece of content that would be tangible, but also something that I could use with clients when I go into their homes or, if they are part of the process. But I finally just set that aside for a little while. Then I shifted and I've never taken care of some business end stuff. And so yesterday so this is where my question is. I finally got online and found all the things that I have to do here in the crazy state of California. Everybody else is here from California. So this whole, I mentioned that fictitious business license thing and you were like, what's that?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I have to have that. So I don't have to have an actual business license because I'm not in one of these categories like, I don't know, used car part lot and gambling and massage parlor. And but I do have to have this fictitious, doing business as thing. So what I learned is that if I had just stayed as, so I'm kind of going the route of sole proprietor. Wish I had not named my business till I knew this, because if I had left it as a sole proprietor in my name, I would not even have had to file the fictitious business name.
Well, can you go back and switch that? Where have you put your business name?
Well, I have my website. I've done a lot of the marketing end. I've got an Instagram going, Facebook.
Gotcha.
It's only $43. It's not like it's a lot of money, and it's only renewed every 5 years. But so going the sole proprietor, I would use my own social security number, it looks like. But now I need to think about the legal, like the liability component, which means, so I reached out to my insurance agent, and that sounds like it's going to be kind of hefty. The other option was I could have gone the LLC direction. Then I'd have to file for an E&S number. But that LLC is going to cost to maintain. So
yeah, and I think in California, and I could be wrong, but I think someone had mentioned like $1,000 or something crazy to file for your LLC. I could be wrong on that. That's like in my brain for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure the insurance is going to be that much cheaper, but if I'm just doing some virtual coaching for a while, I feel like I can not do that. But if I start getting into people's homes I don't know, I'm going to have to really consider that. So, I mean, does that sound right to you? That's where my question was. So I kind of.
It sounds like you're in California is what it sounds like. Sorry.
Yeah.
But California does things so differently than everywhere else in America. Like they have all these different rules and all these different things. I just edited an episode with a lady named Donna Edge is her name. She does a 90-minute discovery call. She's a CPA. She had a brick and mortar for so many years. And now she's like coaching small business, women-owned small businesses to get started and help them out. And so I don't know if like maybe something like that would be a little more like asking her. She may know more of like that kind of thing. I just don't want to guide you the wrong way because I don't know California specifically. But I definitely would try to figure out because, you know, you have to figure out, is it more worth it for me to go back and change just the name of the website? You know, maybe I keep my Instagram and all of that the same because those are just links. They're not like, it's okay to be whatever on those, but on my website, I just change it back, or I put the name of my business as like, you know, whatever, like however, you know, the name of your business by, and then maybe you put, you know, Amy Walker, professional organizer or whatever, to where all of a sudden you've kind of brought it back to your name. So you don't have to deal with all of this crap. Maybe that's an option of like kind of middle ground to where because whatever you do online is almost separate from what you do on the legal end of things. A lot of times, like they could care less what you're, you know, how you're marketing. What they care about is what money is coming in. And that's where you get into like your business bank account and your, you know, the tax stuff and all of that. But on taxes, it may be easier to switch it back to your name. And now that you've found all this out, and go back to just, you know, Amy Walker, professional organizer, or whatever that looks like. And then maybe on the website, you know, it becomes your business name by Amy Walker, professional organizer, or whatever, to where you've kind of tied them together is what I would do to make it simple, because this sounds like that thing's going to be annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to kind of file for an ENS number, but at the same time, I don't know. I want to keep it as simple as possible because I'm not seeing myself doing a whole lot of volume for a while, and may not be able to. And if I don't want to have invested too much.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, I think that like, now that we've kind of talked it out, I think that's a good medium. Like, honestly, if it were me, that's what I'd do. I'd go back to using my, like, scratch the EIN, scratch the name, start the business as your name as a sole proprietor. And then online, leave your Instagram, your Facebook, all of that you've already done. Change the website to your business name by Amy Walker, professional organizer. You know, just add what you're at, who it's by.
Right.
And all of a sudden that becomes, it's back to your name.
Okay.
That's, I mean, yeah, to where it's kind of a great, like, it's in the middle. Like, we're not having to go down this horrible road or this one. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
I was just going to say that I'm in Texas, so it's very different, but I just have a sole proprietorship and I have a name. I just had to get like my name registered with my county, but the business insurance that I bought, and maybe it's different for California, it was like $400, and it was just general liability. And if you're doing virtual, I would imagine that like there's not a lot that they're going to come back at you that you could like do harm in, I guess, where like if we're going into people's homes, it's like we could break things, that kind of stuff, but.
Well, and she is still going into people's homes. She's wanting to do that on the weekends, but she's trying to go into the virtual. But in the meantime, she's wanting to go into people's homes. But that's why she was saying, kind of figuring out that way of like, hey, how do we not have to deal with that stuff, but still be able to go into people's homes, just to see if she likes it. Cause she's still at that place where she's kind of helping a friend, the lady that was like, hey, you should become a professional organizer, and so she's still trying to figure out what it is she even does, while working full-time as the head of a school, which I still don't understand how she does all that, but.
But maybe it could be like I don't know if it works like this in California, but here I could have like Angela O'Brien, sole proprietor, doing business as like a DBA, maybe it could work like that.
Right. Yeah. Which that's the route I was headed down. And if I do that, the sole proprietor thing, I do have to file a fictitious business name anytime you're doing a DBA. But again, that's no big deal. And I found out I can do it by mail. I can't do it online, but I can do it by mail with a notary. So I'm going to take care of that because it's a long way away. So I just need to kind of weigh out really, if I could do that general liability for $400, that would be much more reasonable. And if I just say, hey, right now I'm just going to do it online. I think they were concerned when I started, when she was asking me questions. And by the way, they sent me a whole packet from the underwriters they wanted filled out. And it was pretty detailed. And because they're saying, if you have any access to people's paperwork of any kind, that's just going to up, and so everything, I could just see the dollar signs going up and stuff. So,
well, and a lot of people, when they get insurance as a professional organizer, because most companies do not know what we do. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't understand that half the time we just need general liability. And so call in a couple more insurance people, see what they say and what they quote you, if that's the route you want to go. You know what I mean? Like, because that's why I went the route of just a release of liability form. Cause I'm like, listen, this is getting ridiculous. I'm just going to get the client to release liability. And I tell them when they sign it, listen, this means if anything happens to you, you're not going to sue me. If anything happens to me, I'm not going to sue you. Like, we're both releasing liability 100% because you know me and you trust me, kind of thing,
So when you do that, you don't carry other insurance.
I mean, I
Okay.
carry like my car insurance and my,
Right,
that kind of
right.
stuff.
But I'm talking about for the business.
I don't,
Okay.
but I'm also in Tennessee where things are a little different than California. Like, the fact that you live in California is the only thing that makes me a little like, maybe you should. And if but I would still call around and get more quotes than just one, because
Yeah.
a lot, it's the same thing as when I was looking for a tax professional. I went through 4 people before I found the person that I was like, okay, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Angela, too.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Miss Leslie. We have 2 newbies today, you guys. We have Leslie and we have Misha. So, Leslie, where are you at with everything? So Leslie, hold on, let me tell your story.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Leslie, only put herself on Find My Organizer. Someone from another state reached out and said, hey, I've got a group coming. I'm moving this family across country, but I need one more person. Would you be willing to come be that person? And so she just got thrown into the deep end, like all of a sudden. And then we were having the free group coaching call, and she hopped on her way home from the session. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I love this. That was amazing. So, okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leslie.
What do you want to know?
Are you getting stuck anywhere? What are your thoughts? What's
Okay,
going
so
on for you?
here's my problem.
Okay.
I've done that one piece of work. My website is done. My social media, I feel like I'm very constant on, because I'm scheduling out. I'm sitting down and I'm doing my scheduling. So I'm not on it every day, but I can, get it out there. I'm on Find My Organizer. All my legal documents are in place other than my bank account, because I'm waiting on my parish. Yep, I'm from Louisiana. We have parishes to send me the documents I need to open my bank account. I have money sitting in my Square account that I can't access yet until I connect that account. Anyway, all that kind of stuff I feel like is done. I've gone through your podcast very thoroughly, and I have knocked all that off my list. Other than my insurance, I'm waiting on a quote back from them. I did have the lady reach out to me, and we got the family moved, and that was awesome. And I've had a local business here reach out to me to do a pop-up class. So that's being scheduled in May. But that's it. My friends are like, oh, this is great. People are liking and sharing, but nothing's becoming, I have not gotten a consultation. I have not gotten into anyone's home, nothing like that. And I started the business officially January 1. So I'm, going on month 3. And yeah, there's some things happening, and I have gotten a lot of the detailed work. My forms are done. All that stuff is as done as it can be until I start using it. but I'm stuck with not having the people.
Okay. So what is your website first off?
It's organizingwithleslie.com.
Okay. So I'm going to look at that just to make sure, right? Like, you know, because
Mhm.
sometimes it's as simple as there's not a button for, or, you know, like
Yeah,
something simple.
yeah.
And then secondly, have you gone on to like the moms groups? Because a lot of people start there. Well, they'll go on the moms groups, and a lot of times you can't promote your business, right?
Right. That's what I'm finding.
Yes, but a lot of times they'll have, so here's kind of a way to get around that. A little secret of the trade that I've found with people that seems to work is if you can go in and be like, oh my gosh, I just started this professional organizing business, but I'm looking for people to like give a discount to, or to help me get some practice. Would anyone be interested? Like all of a sudden it becomes, you're not promoting like, hey, I'm an organizer, hire me. It's
Mhm.
more of like, I am looking for some women to help so I can get some, you know, experience under my belt. And I'm going to do that at a deal because you're willing to let me do this for you. Or, you know, you can go in and be like, hey, I'm looking, does anyone have any playrooms specifically that I could come organize? I really
Mhm.
need some before and after photos. So it's more of you asking for help than it is you just being like, I'm an
Okay.
organizer, I charge $300 or whatever, you know.
Okay.
But I would still do it for some kind of like discount from what, like, you know, like a cheaper rate than what you plan on charging,
Mhm.
because what you're going to do is make sure that they're willing to give you reviews on your Google My Business, your before and after photos they're okay with you taking, and that,
Mhm.
you know, they'll be willing to tell their friends kind of thing. Like, hey, if I do this for you for a discount, the reason I'm doing that is because, but first you got to get them even talking to you, right? So that starts with like a post that is, you know, hey, so just tell them your story. Like, I've started this business, I'm at a standstill. Like, people love stories, right? They want to
Mhm.
help. We just got to tell them what it is that we need,
Okay.
and maybe go at it from that point.
I also had and this was completely out of the blue, an apartment complex, a very nice apartment complex in my area, reach out to me during the week, and they're like, hey, we promote local businesses. Can we promote you this week? I'm like, well, you don't even know anything about me, but go for
Yeah.
it. And so I know that my views and my likes went up that particular day. Is it okay to go back like to their page and just make a comment like, hey, I'm giving discounts to people in this complex or something like
Right.
that?
Yeah, I would. Like, I definitely
Okay.
jump on the momentum. Like,
Okay.
why not? And
Okay.
here's the thing, right? Like, you started this January 1st, no one knew anything.
Right.
It's literally been like 60 days that you have
Mhm.
been telling people. It takes
Mhm.
a moment for the momentum to get out there, but it's obviously getting out there, or you wouldn't have the apartment complex reaching out. You wouldn't have someone asking you to do a speech in May. You wouldn't
Right.
have, you know, the lady that contacted you on Find My Organizer. So it's obviously working. It's
Right.
just to start something from zero and get it to like, oh, I'm booked out. It just takes time, and it
And I've
takes
got
that
a couple of ladies who have
consistency.
kind of DM'd me and they're like, hey, I have this organizing problem. What would you do? And I've given them my suggestions and kind of followed up like, hey, have you done that yet? Did it work? Because I'll give you a little bit,
Right.
you know, until you tell me, okay, I need more. And then we can talk like that. I feel like right now I have to give.
Are you offering free consultations?
Yes.
Okay. And when you offer, or when you do a consultation, which I know you've not done one yet, but when you do, be careful how much information you are giving them
Right.
during the consultation, because I don't know how many times when I was new that I'd be like, oh my gosh. So I would do this here and I'd do that there, and I'd
Mhm.
order this pin and that
Mhm.
pin. And before you know it, you don't hear
They're doing
back
it
from them.
themselves.
Yeah. And you're like, what in the world? Or it's a year later and then they're like, hey, I've been trying to do it on my own. Can you come help me now? Yeah, it just takes time for people. The new thing online, which it used to be that you had to get in front of someone's eyes 7 times for them to know, like, and trust you before they buy with you. People have to know, like, and trust you. Now it's 21 times you have to be in front of their eyes before they'll jump on it.
Mhm.
21 times you have to be in front of their eyes.
Mhm.
And so it's literally just going to take you know, a little bit of time, like, but you're doing everything right. Like I can see it in your eyes. You're like, I just need it. Just give me a client.
Right. Just give me one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming. It absolutely is. But no, I would definitely, the momentum of that, and call them back. Be like, hey, someone called me and asked if they could promote me. I would love to come and like put some flyers up in your office if
Oh,
that's an
yeah.
option.
Oh, yeah.
So when people are moving in and out, I can
Yeah.
help them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, definitely jump on that momentum, because if they're asking you if they can promote you, well then
Yeah.
heck yeah, like help me, help a sister out.
I'm going to tell you where I am from is very big on local supporting local. And
Good.
so that's where all these little connections have come from. Mhm.
Yes. Yep. And as soon as those get like layered and concrete and people know who you are, you'll become the go-to person. It
Mhm.
just takes time for that to happen.
Mhm. Okay. I'm being
Yeah.
patient.
Yeah,
I am.
it's coming. I promise. It's coming. But yeah, and the moms groups, go on there and tell your story.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, just tell them your story and just tell them what you're looking for, or what, you know, what you could do for them. If they were willing to let you come into their home and take the before and after photos and give you a review and stuff, you'd be willing to do it for, you know, and let them know this is a one-time like fee that I'm doing. My prices are definitely higher than this, but I appreciate your time. And I would love if you'd be interested, you know, thank you so much just for reading my post, and kind of make it like a heartfelt, you know, from your heart.
Okay.
Yeah. Yay. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. I can't even see you all on the same page. I'm so excited. All right. So who's up next? Anybody got any, like, want to go before, just in case you got to hop off or anything? No? All right. Jess. Yes. Hello,
Hey.
Sideways.
I know, I'm sorry. It's
No,
just
you're
the easiest
good.
way to like stand up my phone.
You're fine.
So I'm sideways today. Sorry. Um, so I have been busy helping a client with a garage project, which
Woohoo.
has been more time consuming than I thought it would be.
Garages
It's
and basements always are.
Yeah, so we've done 3 sessions and we're maybe more like maybe have a quarter left of just boxes to go through. It was one of those, this is a really complex job because the client has multiple generations of stuff in her house. Her mom just recently got rehomed to a nursing home, and she's now like, she doesn't believe that her mom will be coming back. And so she's ready to get rid of all of her mom's stuff. Her dad had passed away not too long ago. Her dad's stuff, and then they've also generated just like generations and generations of stuff. And
Yeah.
every single thing we go through each box, because it's just boxes and boxes from a move that happened like 4 or 5 years ago. I think she said in 2017 they moved in. And these are boxes that were in the garage since 2017, like have not been touched or anything. And so we have to go through every single box, and she's totally one of those clients that has a story to tell with every single item she picks up. And I feel like that's what she needs me there for, is to talk about all these. It's a lot. It's heavy. Like,
So are you struggling with the fact that you told her less than what it's actually taking, or like where's your struggle coming from?
yeah. So I expected it to like go by faster and also like look better than it does, because it's taking so long and there's only so much I can do while she's going through the boxes
Yeah.
of stuff that because like I can't tell her what to keep and what to get rid of, obviously. And so
Right.
I
Listen,
have my suggestions, but she's not technically going to listen to it. She's keeping a lot more than I would like to have.
one of those lovely ladies. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Just the other day, I was working with a client that when I first started working with her, all she was doing was setting and ordering off HSN and QVC. all day, every day. And when her husband called me, she didn't even call me. Normally I don't take a job like this, but it was one of those moments that I was like, I've got to go help that guy out and just see if I can help. But he was like, listen, I've been married over 50 years. I know my wife needs something. I don't know what she needs, but can you please come see if you can help her? And she is keeping like almost everything we go through. I have started like putting it into categories of like and love, because everything is like or love. It's like we're releasing nothing.
Yeah.
But yet she keeps talking about how she wants all this space back. She wants her space back. And I'm like, listen, like I finally just told her, I said, look, you can't have both. It's either the space or it's the stuff. Like, I don't care either way. I just want you to be happy, but I want you to be aware that every time you say you want to keep something, that's the less space you have. So sometimes it's just about setting their expectations. But I will say that exactly what you just said, some of them need to talk. We are women. We just need a good woman to woman talk, cry, process, whatever. And that's helping her too. I also found out that the woman, I started working with her right before Christmas. We've worked together about every week or every other week since then. So it's just been a couple months. And in the past 3 weeks, she's not bought one item, not one. So as much as I hate how much she's keeping, and I personally wouldn't do that, if her keeping those items, but she's also not bringing a bunch of new stuff in, and she was able to break that habit, okay, well then we've gotten somewhere at least.
Yeah. It was one of those things where like at the end of the session, I'm like, are you happy with like the work that we've done? And she's like, yes, absolutely. I've never felt so good. Like, and all this, but in my head, I'm walking away like, dang, I wish I had done more for her. And so, and the budget is also a little bit of an issue. So we did like 3 jobs in 1 week, and then now it's going to be a little while, like next month, until I can go back. And so like leaving the project like half done for like a month is like,
driving you nuts.
it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Which, here's the thing, right? It's because you're passionate and you care about your clients and like you want to go above and beyond. But it's also that like learning to say no and having boundaries side of the stuff that you need to work on as a professional, that like sometimes it's not exactly what we want, and that's okay. If she said she's happy, that is a win, because that is the goal, and that's what you're being paid for, is whatever those clients need. When they're happy, they paid us to fix a problem. And a lot of times that problem is that they're unhappy with something or something stressing them out. So the fact that like she's feeling better, like you were worth every penny to her, I can guarantee you, because if you lived near me, I'd hire you to come help me right now. I promise. Yeah. Like but I get it. I get that. I understand where you're coming from, of having that feeling of like, oh, I just want to finish it. And like, I can't believe it's undone. And, but sometimes we just have to remind ourselves, like, it will get finished. And if it doesn't, if she never calls you back, you did the best you could with the time that you had. And that's what matters.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm suspecting she's probably going through a grieving process as well. Yeah. And so I know, having done both my parents' house, it took me with my mother 3 times through in several years, and I'm a fairly organized person, but we came home from Texas, opened the garage, stuck the boxes in right inside the door, and I left them there for 3 years. We walked around them for 3 years. I had mice bringing dog food from the dog bowl, putting it in the box. But when you, what I would say to her is, I say, look, I know you're happy and you're grieving, this change of life for your mom and your passing of your dad. In a year or 2, I think you're going to be ready to go through this again, and you'll be ready to release more of it at that time. When you're ready, give me a call, because I'll be there for you. Because I know it took me so long to let go of some things. And by the time the 3rd cycle came around, I thought, why am I holding on to this? It's not my mom. but it just takes those
Yeah.
that time and stuff.
We
Yeah,
talked about having a shadow box of the special like keepsake items that remind her of her parents and keeping things because like she's like, oh, this is so special to me. And I'm like, it's in the bottom of a box you haven't looked at in years. Like this is just this item is so special to you. You want it on display, you want to be able to look at it frequently. And so she's like, you're a genius. I can't believe I've never thought of that.
yeah,
And so I think
yeah.
I am helping her. It's just like, yeah, doing that, going through this, it's a grieving process for her. I'm definitely feeling like I'm being more of a therapist than an organizer during these sessions. And so
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of us are, truly, when especially the ones of us, because you're a lot like me. Like you remind me so much of myself that, you know, whenever I first started and I realized that's why I got certified as a life coach, because I realized how many times when I was working in clients' homes that I was half therapist, half organizer. And so I needed more tools in my belt to help with that emotional side of things.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm like, I don't feel qualified to be like, I want to be able to give like, not, I don't think advice is the right thing to do. It's just like to be listening and just to let them talk and stuff. And so ask if they want feedback or not and try to go from there. But it's emotionally draining after I leave these
Yes.
sessions. And that's
Yes.
something that I'm like, oh, is this something I guess too wouldn't be my typical client that I would want. Just
Yeah.
because that's a lot of it's just emotionally draining. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is worse than the physical drain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. It's totally normal. Like you're going to
Okay.
have those random clients that are like that. But remembering exactly what you said, that a lot of times it's more about being the listening ear and just being there because, you know, it is such an emotional time. Like she just put her mom in a home. Her dad just passed away. Like her world has been flipped upside down. And so just you, like literally, if you all hadn't even gone through anything and you would just sit there and been there to listen, that alone was enough for her right now. Now, yeah, exactly what Amy said. Once she goes through it again, she'll be ready to release more once some more time has gone on. But right now, what she really needed was someone to talk to.
Yeah. No, that's really good advice. I think I might pass that on to her. When I do, we might try to finish the garage, but she wants her whole house done, of course, like everyone does. And so I might be like, let's kind of like take some time to like for yourself and come back to this when you're ready to release more items.
Yeah, that or tell her, hey, look, I know budget's an issue because I have these clients too, where I'm like, all right, listen, I know budget's an issue. Let's plan on like 1 day per month. We'll hit whatever we can hit. We'll get as much done as we can. And then we'll just wait till the following month because I know for you, A, you need time to process emotionally. B, budget's an issue, you know, and so that will keep you working with her and it'll slowly over time you make progress. But it also keeps her held accountable to keep the process going.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
give her
Yeah.
those two options, right? Of like, do you want to put this on hold and wait? Because I know this has been a lot for you. Or would you like to maybe just do like 1 session per month where we get as much done in that day as we can? Since I know, but you know, just ask her and give her those options and just see what she says about what she thinks she needs.
Yeah, that helps. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up next? Let me see who's here. There's so many. All right. I know. I just want to say hi, Trisha. I know you normally don't have like questions or anything, but I love seeing your face. It makes me so happy. Do you have anything or are you?
Not any questions or anything. Just a little maybe feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just listening. The one thing that was a big learning for me. I have a social work background as well. And always to remind myself that this is their story, not mine. and to leave my stuff outside. And so when you take your piece, your attachment out of it, it's much easier to sit with them and just hold space, because that's all they need. I've recently done a bunch of inner healing for myself, which has really helped me to find my audience and to create this the vision that I want. And it basically, for me, it's about how everybody attaches value of some sort to, or a meaning to their stuff, right? So we don't know what that is, but it's probably memories, emotions, value, and being, helping them to understand that that's what we're doing, and that everything that we keep actually takes up space, not only in our homes, but in our bodies, in our minds, and our hearts. And we don't have like unlimited space to carry that stuff, right? So kind of helping them learn that the stuff that we release opens up space for the stuff that they want. So that's my feedback.
Mic drop. Yes. Thank you. Truly, because I mean, that's honestly like what it's about, right? Is like, we want to help people, but exactly what she was saying was like, we got to leave our stuff out of it. When we bring our stuff in, all of a sudden it becomes way too overwhelming. Like there are certain clients that before I go in, I have to mentally prepare, because I know that this is going to be overwhelming. But if it's not about me, if I can pull myself out of it and just be like, all right, whatever happens, happens, but like, this is their stuff, not mine. And then there's times I leave sessions that I'm like, okay, God, like, help me wash this off. Like, I release it. I'm like, goodbye. Because if not, you'll bring it home. And before you know it, you're yelling at your husband and you're like, why am I yelling at you? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so good. All right. Miss Kelsey. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. How
I
are
do have
you
a
today?
question.
Yes.
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. So I've been trying to get this social media stuff going, and I wanted to ask you a question because I was playing with it and I thought I had it, and then I don't.
Oh,
So maybe you can help that. So I'm
okay.
gonna flip my camera around. Remember the last time we had trouble with this? Hopefully I won't have trouble.
Oh, it worked.
So I tried with Canva, and I also tried with that Meta Suite.
Mm-hmm.
Canva, I was somewhat successful with, but I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it only does one page at a time. So like if I have like 5 before and afters, I have to post like 5 times, as opposed to like it just, because like on my projects, like I put like 5 pictures in the linen closet, of different angles and Is that making sense?
Yeah. And I honestly don't know what would be causing. Hey, Trista, I know that you've been playing with Canva a bunch lately. Do you have any thoughts, or anybody else for that matter?
Or like your stuff that you allowed us to work with, like it's all a 30-page thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't, like if let's say, I don't want to post it all, but if I wanted to post it all at one time, it doesn't allow me to do that. So I'm like, is it
Right. It's just
smarter to
taking
do
your
one
first
thing at a
page.
time?
I wonder if it's
And
in
that's
your
a lot of
settings
work, but I just
somewhere.
feel like there's something that's got to be easier, or maybe I couldn't figure out the Meta Suite thing and how to do it. But then also I wanted to know how to do, like, if you can do Instagram and put Facebook at the same time. And it
Yes.
doesn't seem like there is, but also like, so I feel like I'm probably overwhelmed with questions now, but like when I went to the projects, I went to like Instagram thing, whereas I didn't get why it was like specific to Instagram
Now, when you click like
templates.
Mm-hmm.
It says Facebook, whatever, like Facebook thing, or
Yeah.
Instagram. Like,
Yeah, like
I'm
the
like, I don't
different
know what the
sizes.
difference is.
Yeah. So
And does it
Instagram
matter for
is
when
like
you're
no, like it, as long as, I mean, yes and no. So like it'll show up on one or the other with a little bit of space, either on the sides for Facebook or a little bit of space sometimes up on the top and bottom. but it'll still post just fine to keep it simple for now. But that might be something. I'm wondering if like your settings is like, if there's something in the settings that's saying only the first page, you know what I mean? When you go hit
Well, I mean,
share up at the top right, like once you go into your template that has like the 5 pages.
let's just try one. This one has 2. We'll keep it simple at 2.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Now at the top right where it
go.
has the share button.
Oops, sorry, I'm not being cameraman at the same time.
Oh no, you're good.
And there's a glare. And this
I'm looking
blindness.
on my Canva, and when I push, like, if you have developed them all in the same, you know, when you start designing and you can duplicate the pages and then they're all stacked on top of each other.
Right.
So when you then add it to the calendar, the content planning calendar, a window pops up and it'll say select, it has the title of whatever you named it, the date, select a channel, and then all pages, and you can collect it's a toggle. Are you seeing that?
See, I've seen that, but it's only like when I've tried to click both of them, it's like you can only do one at a time.
Well, but did you design them in the same? Are they completely designed in
So
separate?
like this one, you can see like that's page 1, page 2.
Yeah, they're the same.
Yours looks different than mine.
Can you share your screen real quick, Amy? Like, is that enough? Hold on. Let me give like option for screen
Okay.
share. Hold on. Okay. Now see if you can share your screen.
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna do this. So I drug something here. I just added new post. I picked, this is something for school here. I'll get to, this has, so you can see it says 1 of 2 and it has 2 pages and you can, does yours look like that?
Yeah. But right where you have the all pages too.
Yeah.
That's where you go and like, I don't know, I can't, it like, I think it has a little square box where you can like check what you want to go out. So like with Samantha's like 30 page, you know, it's like you want that one.
Yeah, because like, let me go to a different one where I know I have a lot of things. Let's see here. I have a whole marketing campaign thing going. I know this one's
going. You're like talented.
I was about to say, geez, we should all be hiring you to do our marketing.
Yeah, please.
I do a lot. Okay, so see here, now I have 7 pages here. So you can unclick all and you can do 2, 4, you know, whichever ones you want, and then add done.
Yeah, and then it says select a channel up above it.
Yeah.
So it's like
right now
I just to go.
I don't have the Instagram.
Okay, so let me show you mine.
Okay, I'm gonna log off.
You can go back.
Okay.
And share here. Hang on.
I don't know if I'm set up wrong or whatever, but I mean, okay, so I press schedule. Then I go select channel. Oh, wait a second. Let me start over again. I'm getting confused myself. Well, okay, there's the channel. And then see, I don't have the.
Can you bring us closer? Sorry, it's hard to see kind of.
I don't have the 2.
Oh, like it's only giving you the option of one or the other instead of like what she does. I wonder, are you on the free version or the paid?
I'm on the premium plan right now.
Well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I have a paid, so I know I have a little more functionality, but I guess that's the same as the premium, right?
Yeah, it is. It's the premium. Let me do some like, I'll look into this and just see if I can like research and then get back with you.
And check YouTube. Also, there's lots of tutorials. If you put in the right keywords, there might be something that tells you how to fix the problem. I don't know.
Yeah, like Canva can't post more than one page.
So
Right.
is Meta Suite, this thing that you told me to check out,
Yeah.
Samantha, is that easier to do? Because I couldn't really figure it out. I think it went to Planner. Maybe I should go like log in and go share my screen because I'm new to all this Zoom stuff, and look, you guys are also talented about sharing screens and all that. I'm like, I better get on my phone so I can share my computer. I don't know how to do both. So yeah, okay, so let's just say we're gonna go.
Yeah, because I can't like
Facebook.
see what you're
You
doing,
can't see
but
it.
no, see, like just yeah, play with that, kind of see, because to me that was a lot easier. But you know,
But where do you find it? So could you get Canva? That's where I'm like confused. Where do you find your Canva stuff?
so when you went to share, you would below that is the download button, like it, or the
Okay.
thing with the arrow where it says download. You download your
Okay.
thing to your actual computer, and then you see how
Actually,
like where
I
it's
do remember
asking.
you saying that.
Yeah, and then where on the Meta Suite where it's like hovering, you can actually drag and drop it into where it, like
Okay.
the post.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, I'll play around with that. Then my other question, there it goes, was could you remind me on when like top times to post are and stuff?
I think it depends on if you're like on Instagram or Facebook or I don't remember, to be honest with you. Anybody else got any thoughts? Let's see.
My
Okay, I don't know
social
what it's
media
doing.
girls usually say like 6 in the morning.
That
That's what I was
sounds about
thinking,
right.
early in the
Yeah.
morning.
If you go to
Yeah.
Pinterest too, you can put in best times to post and they'll have whole graphics of every platform and what time but I don't know that it
Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
I think on my Facebook, it actually gave times like I started posting and then it says like your best hours, like when most people are seeing it.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
mine-
it's the Meta Business Suite, so it should have all that data in it, right?
Yeah, like when people like mine, I started posting at like 4 in the afternoon and then people were seeing it like around 6 or something. So that's when I pretty much put mine out around 6 at night. I think it just depends on
That's
when
what I
your
was.
followers.
Yeah, and
I
so
was thinking
so
early morning or later at night.
yeah, so essentially what it is the more you do it, the more data it can give to back to you of like when people are once as you get to using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll play around. Hopefully I'll get it. But yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Just
I had a
message
little,
me
like,
if you don't, and I'll
hiccup.
help. It's all good.
Yeah.
It also really helps to post it everywhere. Your personal page, your business page, your group, wherever you can possibly post it. And what I'm learning, it doesn't really matter what time, just a lot. Just a lot. Because they're not going to see, people don't see it unless they're engaged with you, because Facebook just keeps changing that algorithm. So the more that you're doing it, the better that it is. So if you can post every day, random different times. I don't use my business page that much. I just post stuff on there. I don't really look at all of that metadata because I think doesn't mean anything.
It stresses me out. The more I look at the analytics, the crazier I get. And so I just quit looking because I was stressing myself out.
My coach that I'm working with right now, she gave me a challenge, but I'm not really sure if I'm comfortable yet, but it's called the garbage post, and it's 100 posts in a month.
Oh,
And just garbage posts. What it means is it doesn't have to be a planned out thing. It just has to, what did she say? It just has to include the English words. So you actually have to add some text to it, but the challenge is to do it 100 times in a month. And there's a little tracker. It sounds really intimidating, but I've been watching her do it, And it's just little things like, like the other night I posted a picture of my husband and I after we finished our sweaty workout. I'm like, hey, we're down in the books, or something. Just, it doesn't have to be business related. It doesn't have to be, but just getting your face out there so that people start to see you. And 100 posts might be a bit much for me, but I'm actually finding that I'm doing it more often. Trying to do it once a day, at least once or twice a day.
Thank you.
I just wonder how many times people actually see the post that you put out. Does anyone know? Because I don't want to be annoying. Like people are like, oh my God, here she is again. And just scrolling past.
You know what? I don't think it's even the same people that get to see them, because I'm noticing on my own feed that like even Samantha, who I like her stuff, I don't see her stuff sometimes for 2 days and all of a sudden it'll pop up on my thing. So if you start to pay attention to your own feeds and you start to look at what day it was posted, how long ago it was posted, you start to kind of get an idea. It's the ones that I noticed that Facebook made some more changes, and that the groups that I like and love a lot, they show up more. And then they have this little feature where you can I don't know, it'll let you know if you've missed a bunch in a favorite group, something that you maybe got a badge in and stuff. But I think Facebook is just making changes almost daily, it feels like. So it just depends. And I think it's the more you post, the more people will actually start to see you. And it's not annoying because you're not seeing
all of them
all the time. You're just seeing them randomly in there. And the ones that you like the most, the ones that you're commenting on the most, those are the ones that are going to come back to your feed more often. So if people are liking your stuff and commenting on your stuff, they're going to see more of your stuff. But I don't know that it has anything to do with what time you post at. And that gets really complicated. And I think that's just another thing on the to-do list that's just going to cause overwhelm and stress, trying to figure out when should I be posting, what's the perfect time, at least in my experience anyway.
Agreed. And I was going to say, so imagine me, I'm doing the podcast, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, these women have got to be overhearing my voice and me talking about this membership. But my coach that I have that I've followed that has like 500 episodes on her podcast, she's like, if you are not saying it enough or posting it enough to the point where you're annoyed by it, you're not saying it enough. And so I think it's kind of the same with the social media stuff, where if we because exactly that, people barely see what we post. Like we're lucky if people see what we post. And so the more we have out there, the better chance we have of even being in front of their face at all.
I'm trying to think of, I focus on Instagram, although I have it to where it's set up to go to Facebook, but I haven't even been able to get into my Facebook account for so long. I probably violated some rule. I just try to think of it as my online portfolio. And that's really what I'm doing. I'm building a portfolio so that I'm validated for the client when they go to look, but that's really the focus of it. I'm not really anticipating a whole lot of sales coming from it. I think more is going to come from word of mouth, and maybe offering a client a card to give to somebody where they both get like a 20% discount or something.
$25 off, not 20% discount.
That would be about $25 in California. So anyway.
Yeah. I just didn't want you to shortcut yourself on those deals. Like the deals are good, but just don't shortcut yourself. But no, that's a beautiful way to look at it, because exactly what's happening is we have so much other stuff going on in our lives that we can only focus on certain things at a time. And if we allow so many distractions to come in before we know it, we're going to be so burnt out that it's not even worth it anymore. And if we look at it as, okay, down the road, my clients are going to see my portfolio of just what I've posted, and I'm just creating that portfolio. Like I love looking at it that way. That's a beautiful way to look at it. I think I'm going to switch my mindset also. All right. So we are winding down. Does anybody that hasn't gone, or any thoughts from anybody that just anybody?
You're recording this, you're gonna post it on the
I am.
Monday.
Yes.
Okay. Because I came in late, so I'd
Oh,
like
yeah.
to see what everyone was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I went to put, the reason that there's only been one replay in the past like 2 weeks is because I went in to put some in and I'm like, nobody's been at any of them. I don't have anything to put in there. That's why I, did this one. Cause I'm like, surely a Sunday people would be at least able to like listen in. But I appreciate all of you so much. Like, I know that, it's hard trying to get our like days and times figured out. But like I said, when we first started this in January, I'm just going to pivot, try to figure it out, keep giving options, and we'll get there. But, so hopefully this is good that everyone at least, gets a chance. And then this is also me getting to learn like who can come at what times and what days and, all of that. But I like you all. Every time I see a post from one of you or I see something, I'm like, honey, look, look at what one of my girls did. Like, I'm so proud of you guys. And I know that I think it was Amanda that didn't get to pop on today, but she's been doing like Instagram reels and, just, it's like everyone is so talented. It's stuff I can't even do. I'm like, wow, good job, and so I don't know, I'm just so impressed with all of you, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And yeah, our next meeting is this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern or 11:30 a.m. Eastern. But I know that the Wednesdays are hard for a lot of you. And so then after that, we've got next Monday. I try to 4 p.m. on a Monday. So maybe that'll give you guys some opportunity to come, hopefully. So awesome. Well, I thank each and every one of you. And and I'm about to put out the episode with the tax lady that I did, Donna Edge. And I just re-listened to it, and it is so good. Like the advice that she has, and the, just how to set everything up, and then, all of that. So if you guys get a chance to listen to it, definitely, because she was packed full of wisdom for our taxes. And I know that's a stressor for a lot of you. So, all right. Well, you guys have a blessed day, and thank you for coming, and I will see you all shortly. Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye, Misha.